What's up out there? We have this mass shooting, River North mass shooting, sees 4 killed, 14 wounded after a rapper's party. Who's the rapper? The rapper is Mello Buckzz. The attack happened Wednesday night outside a restaurant as people were leaving an album release party for the Chicago rapper. This was July 2nd. Again, this is Mello Buckzz. Another mass shooting happened at a club that operated from the same address in 2022. Look at what I see. I'm doing a little bit of research here. And I'm like, that's interesting because that picture, I put these two pictures together. Mello Buckzz on the left, and you have this other picture from the incident on the right. That's interesting because it looks like this was right next to a Starbucks. And the rapper's name is Mello Buckzz. And it appears this nightclub was right next to Starbucks, as you see that Starbucks sign right there in the picture. You know, if you think that's a coincidence, just hang tight and I'll show you there's a lot more where that came from. So this is the boyfriend on the left, Devontae Williamson. And these are the 4 killed, allegedly all associates or some kind of friends with the rapper. Okay, now is this a coincidence that this happened and these 4 characters connected to the rapper dies as they're kind of promoting her new album? So her boyfriend, Devontae Williamson, he's got son in his name. That's another son. There's been so many. Inky Sun, president of the Portland WNBA expansion team, she got her and the team parted ways. Remember Marge Simpson? It was speculated that she may have been killed off in the final episode of season 36 of The Simpsons. But I guess they say she's still around, but she was trending. You know, Sanford and Son trending with the death of Lynn Hamilton. Right? Who played Donna Harris. Remember the Phoenix Suns traded Kevin Durant. Was it Chad Wilson, founder of Lululemon? Lululemon suing Costco. You know what I mean? So you get another son here with the boyfriend dying, Devontae Williamson.
It felt bad to be in Chicago last night, but we can make it through.
Heartbreak and frustration tonight after a mass shooting in River North.
Get that 62 on the ambulance. Get that 62 on the ambulance. Sacrifice equals 62.
Heartbreak and frustration tonight after a mass shooting in River North. Thank you for joining us. I'm Scott Schneider. There are endless questions tonight about how and why this happened and how to prevent it from happening again. The ambush happened just before midnight outside of an album release party for Chicago rapper Mello Buckzz. 18 people shot in total, 4 of them killed. And tonight, we know their names. One of them, the rapper's boyfriend, 23-year-old Devontae Williamson, 25-year-old Leon Henry, 27-year-old Aviance King, and 26-year-old Taylor Walker. Now, many people who were at the party are close friends of the rapper, whose real name is Melanie Doyle. Police have not said if they have any suspects tonight. Some city leaders today calling for changes and accountability when it comes to regulating businesses in the area. Our Casey Cronus will have a bit more on that later on.
So I guess they say many were friends of the rapper. So I don't know if these four in particular, but I know Devontae Williams was her boyfriend. Devontae Williamson right there. So 4 people fatally shot, 14 more injured outside a River North restaurant. So they're saying it's a restaurant. In a mass shooting, Mayor Brandon Johnson, look, you get another son with the Chicago. Look, it's the Chicago Sun-Times as well. And look, Mayor Brandon Johnson. Look at that. And Williamson, the boyfriend, is killed. 1 of 4. Man, look at that. More sons. The drive-by shooting happened as crowds gathered outside after this album release party at Artist Restaurant and Lounge, 311 West Chicago Avenue. A car pulled up outside the restaurant as at least one gunman opened fire on a crowd of people around 11 p.m. Chicago Police Superintendent Larry Snelling told reporters in a news conference with Johnson Thursday afternoon. They didn't care who was struck, and in a matter of seconds, they were able to shoot 18 people, taking 4 lives. Snelling said no arrests have been reported. Remember, you had that 62.
It felt bad to be in Chicago last night.
You had the 62 on the ambulance, and 62 equals sacrifice in the language. 62 is big with Chicago because remember, Jordan equals 62 as well, and 26. And I may refer back to some Chicago connections as I go forward here. You tell me what the odds are. So this is rapper Mello Buckzz. This is a party for this release of her album, I guess. Look at mass shooting has 66 like River North. 66. And it's a River North mass shooting, which I guess is like an area or like a neighborhood or something. River North 66 like mass shooting. Even Mello Buckzz' birthday, April 9th, the last birthday, left 266 days in the year. River North, you even get 60 like 6. And I mentioned earlier, you saw the 62 on that ambulance with Chicago. You see it in the picture a little bit right there too. With the sacrifice 62. You know, a lot of people may connect or think about sports with Chicago. You think of the Chicago Bulls. Bulls equals 66. Don't forget, even Lonzo Ball just traded by the Bulls a few days ago. I quickly put this together because I noticed it when I grabbed that footage with that news clip there. Look at her boyfriend. Look, her real name is Melanie Doyle, 24-year-old drill rapper. And look at how Melanie Doyle has 204 in reverse, which is like 24. I have another 24 connection. I might hit it here in a bit, but let me go over this real quick. Melanie Doyle, her real name, drill rapper, Mello Buckzz. Melanie Doyle, look at the 60. Just like River North, 60. Now, notice Devontae Williamson, her boyfriend, has 94 in that same cipher, reverse reduction. That's his girlfriend's birthday, the 9th day of the 4th month. 94. R.I.P. to him. Now look at the 85. Look at the 85 because Devontae, the boyfriend's first name, 85. It's an 85-day span from Mello Buckzz' birthday to this death of her boyfriend. 85-day span. She's got that 4/9 birthday. This shooting and her boyfriend, along with 3 others, dead. Look at that, an 85-day span. An 85-day span from her birthday to this shooting and death of her boyfriend when her boyfriend's name equals 85. Notice how, I don't know if I put this in the slides, but look, it's also a 12-week 1-day span. Blood sacrifice equals 121. 2-month 24-day span from her birthday to this mass shooting, and 2 months 24, that's like 24. And remember, her name, Melanie Doyle, 204, like 24. She is age 24. You know, he's age 23, was described as a very outgoing, very popular Devontae Williamson. See that? And you know what, man? Devontae Williamson with that 94 and her birthday, the 9th day of the 4th month. Look at when I put Chicago Bulls, just to show you how all this stuff connects with Chicago one way or another. Chicago Bulls has 49, which is her birthday as well. You see that? Right? I mean, if I think of Chicago, maybe with the more newer generation, as I grow into my later years, they kind of made Chicago, you know, like Chirac, Drill, or whatever, right? But for a lot of years, you think Chicago, and you may think of like the Chicago Bulls, Michael Jordan, or, you know, maybe like the Chicago Bears or something. Chicago Cubs, right? So that's some interesting stuff. But let's go back over here now, because I'm not trying to make this too long. We'll just have to see what happens, okay? So we get this shooting 2 days before Independence Day. Obvious connections. Now her birthday, Mello Buckzz, the 99th day of the year. She's born on the 9th. Illinois equals 99. Artist, restaurant, and lounge equals 99. Something else with Michael Jordan and the Bulls. Look, 311 West Chicago Avenue. Michael Jordan equals 113. 311 reverse. The National Basketball Association equals 113. I guess we should look at the character on Google a little bit more. Here she is. I've never heard of the character. I think this is a come up, and this could be like, you know, this something had to give, right? Because she wasn't hit. Alternative hip hop artist from Chicago's East Side who blends classic and new age beats with emotional lyrics. Okay, the music is honest and accessible. It says their music, like it's a group or something, but I think it's just one. It says their music is honest and accessible, reflecting their own life experiences and vivid imagery to immerse listeners. Buckzz is known for experimenting with their sound and keeping fans on their toes with constant evolution. Their distinctive style has garnered international attention. So they're on the come up. And I'm guessing it's just the one female, right? They gave us the birthday and everything. I'm guessing, so they're on the come up. She loses her boyfriend. right as this album is ready to hit, and I'll go forward here. We always get these tragedies around Chicago. I think even with like the holidays and stuff. You know what I mean? I mean, you could say that probably about a lot of places, but definitely with Chicago. Of course, this is 2 days before Independence Day. Rapper equals 74, which is Independence Day. July 4. You can see Independence Day also equals 74. Mello Buckzz equals 47. Young Noble with the Outlaws just died, connected to Tupac. Young Noble just died on Independence Day 4/7 at age 47. The Outlaws equals 47. He eliminated himself, they say. SUICIDE equals 47. Shout out to Richard West, Decodes. I think he said Tupac Shakur equals 47. I missed that when I did my short. No? Oh, Tupac equals 74. So Tupac equals 74. And, you get two rappers connected with deaths here. RIP to Young Noble. And then this shooting surrounding Mello Buckzz. Right? Young Noble gone, the Outlaws. There may be some more connections there as well. So, yeah, man. Tupac has that 74 as well. Wow. Let me pull up River North real quick. Where is River North? Sometimes you could look around some of these other streets and you'll see other connections as well. I'm not seeing any there. It says River North is a Chicago neighborhood located north of the Chicago River, south of Division Street. Right there. And I mean, these are obvious connections that are undeniable here. And again, her significant other was one of the people killed in the attack. Now her latest album is Hollyhood. Right? This was a party celebrating the release. I don't wish this type of pain on nobody, she wrote in another post. I thought this was worth mentioning. Her name is Mello Buckzz. And Lonzo Ball just got traded to the Cavs from the Chicago Bulls. Look, his brother's name is LaMelo. You see that? And I keep seeing this Carmelo Anthony story. Not the basketball player, but you can see the connection. Carmelo Anthony accused of fatally stabbing Austin Metcalf in a Frisco, Texas track meet on April 2nd. The incident occurred during a dispute in the stadium bleachers. But that story I keep seeing pop up in the algorithm as well, even though it's from April. Mello Buckzz trending the same time Lonzo Ball gets traded from the Bulls. His brother's LaMelo. And then, you get Carmelo Anthony basketball connection, but you get this Carmelo Anthony accused of this fatal stabbing that's kind of been lingering around as well. And you got Mello Buckzz. Even with Bucks, I know I think the Milwaukee Bucks, right? I don't think Milwaukee's too far from Chicago, is it? Let me know. I don't think so, but look, you get Bucks, Bulls, Ball, but Milwaukee Bucks also like a basketball team with a different spelling. So again, this is like riddle stuff, language stuff. Now this is trending. Look at the article is the third day of the 7th month, or 7/3, July 3rd. Remember the 62 on the ambulance. Sacrifice equals 62. Look, sacrifice equals 73. River North mass shooting sees 4 killed, 14 wounded after rapper's party. Killed has 37, like the article date. Shooting 37, Chicago 37. Right? 4 killed, like 44. Shooting equals 44. Kill equals 44. Something else too, hospital also equals 44, which I don't have in there. And you could see, look at the other connections though. Killed, shooting, Chicago, Illinois, Chicago, Illinois, and kill. Look at all of those number connections there. Right? And remember, you had 62 on the ambulance, and Jordan equals 62 and 26 as well. But look at those numbers match up right there. I got that in there twice. Same thing. They say 4 killed, 14 wounded, so 18 total. But it says 14 wounded, dead equals 14 in 2 of the base ciphers. And this album is Holly Hood. Holly Hood equals 114, like 14. So it's really, really syncing up here with this bad energy for Chicago and these shootings and these killings. Do we get a release date with Holly Hood? Let me see if Google will tell me. Holly Hood release date, Mello Buckzz. Maybe if we get the right spelling. Oh, it was released July 3rd according to Genius. So as this article was trending the next day, what a coincidence, right? What a coincidence that is. Not. So this character is going to be on the come up. It's something has to give. If you do something, if you start succeeding in your real life, if you keep track or pay attention, something around you negative is going to happen, right? This is why I get shadow banned. Like if you happen to open your own business or something, maybe the money starts coming in, don't make sure none of your family members go to the hospital for anything. And I'll just leave it at that. Here are some of these songs. She's got G Herbo on a track. It looks like here. Chucky, I don't know who that is. So there's just 8 songs on this. From what I'm seeing here, there's 8 tracks. All right, let's go back to the breakdown. Even Hollywood has 51 like mass shooting. Check that out. That's the reduction cipher, all single digits. There's 26 letters in the alphabet. So A is 1, J is the 10th letter, so that's where the reducing starts. 1 plus 0 is 1. K 11, 1 plus 1 is 2. Straight up numerology here. Hollywood's got 51 like mass shooting, and I'm telling you this is Chicago, and Michael equals 51, okay? Like Michael Jordan. Look, Michael has that 51. You see what I'm saying? And remember, we had that 66 connection earlier, Bulls 66. I think it was River North 66 and mass shooting 66. And Mello Buckzz birthday, I think, left 266 days in the year, if I remember correctly. You know what I mean? And remember, you flip that 66 over and you get the 99, Illinois 99, Artist Restaurant and Lounge 99, her birthday on the 9th of April, the 99th day of the year. You see how that works? That's just how it is, man. These characters are bunched into categories by the language, some kind of system. So whenever one hits, it all hits. I'm not saying I'm not saying Michael Jordan, you're going to get a story with him and Mello Buckzz, but you get the M with Mello, the M with Michael, the stuff's with the language, you get the Chicago connection, all of this stuff factors in, okay? And then you get these trending stories. I mean, that's why Hollywood's got 51 like mass shooting, 51 like Michael. You saw the 62 on the ambulance in the video, and you see it partially right there. Even the 266 days remaining in the year with her birthday, remember Jordan equals 26 and 62. And was it Chicago Bulls that equaled 94? We checked earlier, if I remember right. So it's just riddles, man. The boyfriend's name 94 to sync up with her birthday. I thought I had do I got another video? Right? I wonder who caused this to happen. You know what I mean? Hey, this is Chicago. They're gonna buy the story, right? A mass shooting, someone pulled up and shot. This is what the authorities are telling us. So what made this happen? I mean, I'm not saying that shootings don't happen just, randomly or whatever. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying this hits the trending news, and you got this character who survives the incident. It even says the article is updated at 9:49. Remember, her birthday is the 4th day of the 9th month, right? Remember, her birthday is the 4th day of the 9th month. Chicago Bulls 94. Her boyfriend's her boyfriend's name Devonte Williamson 94. Let me see if there's an update possibly. Any suspects? Update Chicago mass shooting. Drive-by shooting 4, kills 4, 14 wounded. Chicago mayor. I'm not seeing much. Let me put arrests. So I'm not seeing anything pop up with any arrests or anything here. And they mentioned this same address had a mass shooting in 2022. I couldn't find anything that popped up because everything that pops up is gonna direct us to this recent shooting. I couldn't think of any other way to search it, but I couldn't get it to pull up in the and 4th of July, right before 4th of July, you saw the 74s and the 47s and all of that have been hitting Independence Day right there. All right, so Chicago Sun-Times. Handgun and rifle rounds were recovered. Yeah, but where did they come from? And then, they give us just the story here. They mentioned G Herbo. Okay, G Herbo's friend, it looks like, was left dead as well. Or wait, what are they mentioning here? Prominent drill rapper G Herbo. I think they said he's on her album. A longtime associate. So they're affiliated with this gang, I guess. NLMB. Features on a track of Mello Buckzz' new album she was celebrating Wednesday night. The gang has been tied to other recent shootings, including a Brazen daytime attack at South Loop Barbershop, which left G Herbo's friend dead. Let's look at G Herbo real quick. LMMB. LMMB. Gangs of Chicago, No Limit, Muskegon Boys, and Never Leave My Brothers, a two-set alliance located in the South Shore neighborhood. Right there. It may just be a cop-out, too, where they're just trying to blame local gangs, you know what I'm saying? Let's get G Herbo real quick before we get out of here, just to see. Man, that 108 1881's been popping up a lot, that's for sure. But G Herbo right there, 29 years old. So he's connected to Mello Buckzz, as it looks like he's got a track with her on her album. Herbert Randall Wright III. All right, so I'm going to leave it at that. River North mass shooting sees 4 killed, 14 wounded after this rapper's party. We'll see if she starts to have a little bit more of a come up, as her boyfriend RIP and 3 other people at this party celebrating the release of her album Hollywood. We'll keep our eyes on her. All right, RIP to the dead here with this story. RIP, positive vibes as we move forward. Until next time.